Hi, this is Cindy Spencer, and welcome to the Joy of Receiving Love website. And today I have a guest that's going to do 3 posts for us over the next 3 weeks. And her name is Brianna Gieseking.
Hi.
And I've known Brianna for about 5 years. We met at a ministry school in our church, and one of the things that helped us connect was her and her husband Bjorn got married on a day that happened to be my birthday. So I got to celebrate my birthday that year a couple years ago on their wedding day, so that was pretty fun. So over the last couple months, Brianna and I have been talking about some difficult areas that she's had to go through and how God really came in and just amazingly touched her life and has helped her through these difficult times and helped her to be just what I call an amazing overcomer, and all the process that he did to help her through these different situations. So this first one today that she's going to share about is mourning the loss of her mother, which happened, a few months ago?
Yeah, a few months ago.
So she's going to share with us her experience and how God came in and brought comfort and a whole bunch of just amazing stuff to help her with this grieving process. So, go ahead.
Thank you.
Welcome, Brianna.
Hi, I'm Brianna Gieseking, and I'm a friend of Cindy's, and I just want to share with you today a little bit of my journey on how I got through the process of mourning my mom. My mom passed away in May, and so I just want to share this with you. So the first point that I wanted to bring up is letting you know that no emotion is a wrong emotion. Give yourself grace. Don't shame or condemn yourself for having any bad feelings. This is something that my dad shared with me when he had just lost his mom very shortly after I lost my mom, and so he was able to share that with me, and just knowing that, you know, you're gonna probably feel some anger, some guilt, and some hurt, maybe bitterness, and it's okay. It's okay to feel those things. Obviously you don't want to stay there, but those feelings are there for a reason, and it helps you figure out what is going on inside of you. So the second point is be patient with yourself. Don't expect change in just a few days. Give yourself time. I am just sharing from my own experience, but I can imagine that for someone else it might take longer, or it might take less time to mourn a loved one. For me, I actually researched, not researched, but I was just reading my Bible one day and realized that they took 30-day mourning periods, and I realized that's about how long it took for me. That doesn't mean that that's how long it's going to take for you, but just give yourself patience, give yourself time, because that's what you need. So, number 3, give yourself a goal and decide who you want to be coming out on the other side of this thing. This is something that I learned through reading a devotional about mourning, and it's decide how this experience is going to change you as a person, and obviously you're going to want this to change you in a good way, not a bad way. So making that decision is really important. That way you are not just sitting around sulking, but you have a goal of how you want to get through to the other side of this. So what kind of person do I want to become as I progress through this grief? I feel like it is such a powerful question because it helps eliminate the victim mentality, and it empowers you. This experience will change you as a person, so are you going to let it be a positive or a negative change? Right when I realized that I needed to ask myself this question, I was right in the middle of mourning, and I realized that my decision at that point was going to shape me and make a huge impact in who the person I was going to be on the other side of this. So I realized how important it was for me to have this goal. I want to share what I wrote for my goal of the person that I wanted to be coming on the other side of this. I want to be brave enough to face the pain and the fears and walk right through them. I want to learn to love without holding back. In the future, I want to be able to bring comfort and truth to those who have lost a loved one. And I hope that's one of you. I want to know exactly what to say and do to be like a salve or a healing balm on their open wound. I want to be a great listener. I want to give them hope that there are great things on the other side of this, because God works all things together for the good of those who love Him. And I'm reminded of a song that says, if you only knew what the future holds, after a hurricane comes a rainbow. So I hope that encourages you. That's just an example of my goal that I set for myself of who I wanted to be coming on the other side of this. One thing that I struggled with was choosing to engage in the feelings and in the process, because it does hurt. But especially when it hurts, that's when you need to engage in your feelings. And it's really easy to detach yourself or just want to watch a funny movie or something to get your mind off of things, but really what's important is engaging in those deep-rooted feelings, and that's what's going to get you through. Some of you might have responsibilities, daily responsibilities, work, etc., that you can't really get out of, and that's okay. Those are things that you have to do. But in that case, God will give you grace to. He will give you grace and the time to deal with those things, and help you work through that in the way that you need to. My fifth point was that don't push people away. Definitely don't be a recluse, but invite people into what you're feeling and what you're going through, and share your tears with them, because God will use people to bring healing to your heart. And He'll use people, things, places, but just be open and willing to receive that, and be willing to share what you're feeling with other people, because they might have something to give that you really need to hear or that you need to receive. So I would just encourage you with that. There were two main obstacles that I faced in going through this process of mourning. The first was because of the physical condition that my mom was in. I wasn't able to have closure with her, and that made me angry and upset, and there was just a lot of feelings that came with that. But as I let God into the process, He was able to bring healing in that, and I was able to let go of all that and be myself again and be happy and joyful again. And the second thing was not seeing her in her physical state before she passed, but in seeing her in her heavenly state. That was really hard for me. I didn't want to remember her as sick. I didn't want to remember her in her suffering, but I wanted to remember her in the way that she is in heaven, in her perfect state. And so that was really hard for me, and it seemed impossible at first. I mean, both of these things seemed impossible at first, but through prayer, I just asked God, and He hears our prayers. He knows the desires of our hearts, and He longs for us to be set free. So He answered my prayer, and it did take some time, but it was also through someone else. It was through my mother-in-law, something that she had to share with me helped me to see my mom that way. And now when I think of my mom, I think of her in heaven, full of joy and dancing and singing, and I just see her cheering me on. So I really hope that you have the same kind of breakthrough in whatever loss or experience you're going through. And I just want to encourage you that it does get better, and just give yourself patience, give yourself time, because you'll get through to the other side of this if you really have a goal and you really want to be a better person through this. It will happen, and God will help you with that. So thank you.